Good morning, everyone, and welcome back, or good afternoon. Welcome back to the breakfast show. We are back. We're back. Myself and Jose, we are back with another live stream for the week. It's going to be quite a hectic week, actually. But first up, good morning, Jose. How are you today?
Good, Neil. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody watching. Yeah, like you mentioned, pretty interesting week. I mean, we got some crazy news over the weekend. And then it's filled with, I think, nonstop earnings for all different markets, and some big earnings. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the earnings calendar in a bit, but shout out to everybody that's joining us on this lovely Monday morning. And hopefully we can bring some information that give you value today.
Hopefully. I mean, that's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah, I'll pick up. I'll show off the earnings calendar real quick for the week, because we got some pretty big companies reporting over the next couple of days. Of course, we will be live each and every day. Some days we're going to do a quick early morning one, and then an after hours one, because yes, we are on the wrong side. We will flip that. We will flip that, because this is unacceptable. So today, before the market opens, let's be honest, none of us know any of these companies. I don't think so. After the market closes, I think the top three, Celestica, Waste Management, and Cadence, are the only ones that we know of by name. I think Cadence, we talked about it a couple of times. You talked about it a lot, I think. So that's going to be interesting for after hours. Tomorrow is a big day for me, I think. I mean, I know. We have SoFi, PayPal report before the market opens. It's going to be a very good stream here. United Health is also reporting before the market opens. So that one's been getting quite a lot of attention. So let's see what they report tomorrow. I think the call is going to be very important, but our stream will focus on SoFi and PayPal, and then more specifically, I think we'll do just the PayPal earnings call, because we can't do both of them at the same time. But we will have Alex Chris lookalike doppelganger on the channel as well, Roy Crossroads. So that's going to be fun. Boeing, UPS, Spotify are also reporting before the market opens. After market, we have a Visa and a Starbucks and bookings. I'd say those are the three big names there. On Wednesday, we have Vertiv. Interesting to hear what they have to say right now. Other than that, Etsy, Vertiv Financial maybe. But then after hours, I think we will be covering Meta and Microsoft, because, I mean,
Wednesday alone could be a whole week for me.
Yeah, I mean Meta, Microsoft, Lam Research, and Qualcomm and ARM.
You also you also have, is that Applied Digital there? They still call it Applied Blockchain, but
Yes.
all right,
Yes.
it is. So that one alone could be a whole week for us in forms of videos if we need to cover them all.
Yeah, so that's going. Yeah, I mean, why? Why do they all choose the same day? Uh, but all right, I guess Wednesday after hours will have quite a lot of work
Wednesday
to
we're doing
do.
a 24-hour stream.
You heard it here first. Sabaton.
Oh man.
um, then Thursday we'll do probably a quick morning stream, probably touching on whatever we did miss on Wednesday
Mhm.
after hours, and then Thursday after the market closes, big ones: Apple, Amazon, and then you have Coinbase, Reddit, and Roku. But I think we'll just focus on the top two here, more specifically. I think Amazon. So
Amazon.
yeah,
Yeah.
quite a hectic week, but we like it. We like it very much, and I think the week after that one
It's
we do
fun
have,
again.
yeah, Palantir on Monday, AMD on
AMD,
Tuesday, Arista Networks as well. You've got Uber, Walt
Uber.
Disney. Yeah. So it's going to be quite a lot of fun over the next couple of weeks on our during our live streams on our channels. I
Um,
mean, we're going to try and cover most of it, if not all of it, over the next couple of weeks.
it's crazy. It's already August. I think that's wild. Well, I mean, a few days away, but
Yeah,
this is
Friday.
yeah, this year's going this month went so quick, and we're back at earnings season. It's gonna make it go even quicker and quicker.
Yeah. So let me just do this first.
Oh my god, thank you. Yeah.
Much better. Much better. Um, Eric Captain Harris from Greece. Super chat here. Thank you very much. Let's have a green week. ASML power. I think we're going to have a green. I think ASML is up already 3%
Mhm.
of the EU US trade deal, which again, it's a good headline deal, I guess. But I do feel like these deals are more about intentions than commitments.
Yeah, I haven't seen like an official document just yet. I would love to see that because I know there's a lot of discussions from maybe what people have said and heard that certain segments might be ignored with tariffs and stuff like that. But I want a true confirmation of something like that. I think that's why ASML might be seeing a nice run on pre-market, or they might have opened a nice amount. But would love to hear more confirmation and sticky details on the EU trade deal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, because they did say during those that press conference like 15%
Mm.
here, but still 50% on steel and aluminum, and talks are still ongoing. So again, it's like the UK deal. I guess it's good for the headlines to make sure that the markets are maybe a little bit more relaxed, and then we actually see what happens, right? Because all of these investments, right,
Mm.
the 600 billion, the 750 billions, I don't know if these are commitments or if these are just intentions. Like I can also say, oh, I intend to invest in Jose $100,000. Do I commit?
Really?
No.
No, lame.
It's just an intention.
Yeah, but
Um,
yeah, that was going to be interesting. Hopefully, we get a little bit more color to that at least today. Um, and do we have some uh kind of Fed talks this week, Neil? I mean, this is not one that I talked, but Custer and Chips mentioned. Imagine we actually cut this week as well.
let me see economic calendar if we have something. Maybe it is the July meeting. Is this week? Let me actually check. We do have some news regarding, well, not really news, but you've
Mhm.
probably seen some headlines around Samsung. Well, that's big news actually, but AMD,
Yeah.
we have some more recycled news for AMD, which again is bullish, but it's something that we already touched on a couple of
Mhm.
weeks ago.
Yep.
So let's see what we have this week.
Right.
Um,
Intel, I feel. Oh my God, Neil. I don't know why I called you Intel. Neil, when was the last time we were streaming? Did we talk about Intel earnings?
no, because you didn't want to show up on Friday.
Yeah, Friday's day off. Come on. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are weekdays.
Yeah. Okay.
Monday.
So we have wait. So we have Wednesday, July 30, 8 p.m. I think it's my time. Fed interest rate decision.
Yeah. Um,
So yeah,
yeah.
no, we
So
didn't talk about Intel.
all right, so we can probably talk about that, maybe get that started. There was a lot of interesting stuff that came out of there. We also, like you mentioned, um, we're getting questions about Samsung. Like I think Elon confirmed
Yep.
earlier today that there we go. Yeah, so Samsung's giant new Texas fab will be dedicated to making Tesla's next generation AI 16 chip. The strategic importance of this is hard to overstate. Samsung currently makes AI 4. TSMC will make AI 5, which just finished design initially in Taiwan and then Arizona. Samsung agreed to allow Tesla to assist in maximizing manufacturing efficiencies. This is that I didn't follow that part. I didn't read that part, right, Neil? But I guess I was curious why at the beginning he said that this was critical for them. If for AI 5 they decided to go TSMC, it means like that partnership really wasn't as strong as he's making it seem. Um, but I guess Samsung is using Samsung needs to find ways to get customers. This is what I believe is happening. Obviously, no confirmation, but Samsung needs to find ways to make companies. So it's Elon and his team are probably saying, "Hey, look, we want to help with the manufacturing efficiencies, but you give it to us at a better pricing. A better pricing power here allows us to make these chips cheaper." And TSMC being the goat says, "No, I don't need your help at all, and I'm going to charge you the regular price." Samsung, kind of lagging in this space, is saying, okay, we need a customer. We'll be okay with this as long as maybe we sign AI 6 and AI 7 and maybe some long term partnership as well with it. So I wonder if that's what happened here, but would love to kind of be a fly on the wall to see how Tesla is actually assisting in the manufacturing of chips.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when you commit $16.5 billion, I guess you can say, you know what, allow us to maybe assist you with some other things. Here is $16.5 billion. We know you've been struggling, but here is our commitment. Here is a commitment, not an intention, a commitment. And I guess that's why this thing was made. But yeah, I do wonder what has happened. Why didn't they just continue with TSM? Is it purely because of pricing? Because I don't think pricing should be an issue for Tesla. It's efficiency, maybe control. Because yeah, if Tesla is going to assist in maximizing manufacturing efficiency, is it only about manufacturing efficiency, or do they have a say in the design aspect of things as well?
I mean, I do think for Tesla, if you're these AI chips go in every vehicle, right? Every single vehicle of theirs. So
And
um,
robots.
yeah, so I do think for Elon, it's definitely a pricing thing. I mean, one of the things that they really want to do is kind of reduce the cost of goods on all their products dramatically. So I think for him, it's 100%, because you probably don't get much of a margins in here because it's not like you're selling the chip individually. You're selling it as a full product.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, he does like to be vertically integrated, although this is not vertically integrated. But
Hmm.
if you can get your hands into many jars, um, it makes sense. I mean, it's a big deal for Samsung as well because they've been struggling. So
No,
congrats to them. Not that great for Intel though, right?
no,
Because I mean, Intel has been making it quite clear last week that they're begging for customers to come, because we know 18A is going to be Intel only first, at least for the next three plus years or so. But 14A, they've been making it quite clear, okay, that 14A there are some good conversations going on, etc.,
yeah,
etc. But if they can't find external customers for 14A, it's not going to happen, I guess, um,
yeah.
on a large scale.
I think this quarter that just happened for Intel, and I don't know if you want to pull up some physical.ai so we can look at some of the charts there. Um, this is the quarter that 3 years from now is going to be seen as the quarter that made or broke the company. Um, there were a lot of changes, I think, that are happening with Lee Bhutan. that were announced this quarter, and if they do continue to follow through, um, it really is that game changing quarter. We saw a slowdown in a lot of different fabs. They're no longer building in Germany and Poland. That is canceled. They're moving their Costa Rica, whatever they're doing in Costa Rica, to Malaysia and Thailand, I believe. I forgot what were the two countries, but they're removing their Costa
Vietnam.
Rica, Vietnam. Thank you. They are slowing down construction of the Ohio plant. And we did do kind of just oh, I remember we did talk about Intel. We just looked at their
We
press release.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
a press
I
release, but not
remember
the
now.
earnings call.
Not the earnings call. And one of the questions that I had is we saw kind of that $800 million write-off that they had to do on equipment.
Mhm.
And at first I'm like, there's no way that this could be new equipment. It has to be something old.
Yeah.
I think during the earnings call, we got confirmed that it's actually new equipment, that they just don't have enough demand for a lot of these stuff that they have to write it off right now because they still don't even have the demand for the 18A, for 14A when it comes out. So they have to write it off. So Lee Bhutan, he pretty much mentions that it seems like his biggest issue with prior management was that their vision was good. They do believe that Intel has to be kind of this manufacturing and chip design business was good, but the execution was
It
bad
was
where
the
they
prior generation tools, not new.
uh these charges were related to excess prior generation tools, which couldn't find. Oh, that's weird because the way he made it seem in his thing is the prior management wrote off too much empty checks. So checks just to buy as much equipment as possible. Um and expanded dramatically. He kind of put you had future build out of $55 billion, and he brought it down to like 35 or 30. I forget the number, but and cutting that workforce we saw. So Intel is definitely becoming a slimmer, meaner machine. But the question is, will 14A succeed? Because I don't know if you noticed, Neil. I saw someone on Twitter
Yep.
post that um,
The risks.
under 10Q, the 10Q, they said that if 14A doesn't work, that's it. I think that would be the end of Intel's manufacturing business. Whatever that means, will it become a split up? Will somebody else have a joint venture with it? But it ends as an Intel based company. If 14A kind of doesn't succeed, which is I don't know. I think this CEO is not here to play around. He's definitely here to make some massive changes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, the blank check comment, I guess it makes sense. He also said that he does not subscribe to the idea of we will build and they will come, right? This might have
Hmm.
worked with Intel 15 years ago, doesn't work with Intel today. And I think that's what Pat was trying to do 4 years ago. And that was probably the big mistake is build and they will come. Well, you don't have the money and you don't have the client. So what's the
Hmm.
point? What's the point?
Yeah.
So I think the strategy right now is making sure that 18A is very good for Intel's sake. And then you can go and show clients, future customers, look, this is what we did with 18A. This is what we're going to do with 14A. Do you want to commit or not? If yes, great. If not, problem. If not, that's I mean they'll just stick with 18A for anyways for I think 3 years or so. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The thing with 14A is that there are already conversations. So I hope that they're working quite close with potential future clients, right? Just include them in the design part of all of it, like give them good pricing, etc., just to make sure that you have
Mhm.
customers coming in. And then, yeah, who knows? I mean, if it turns out to be pretty good, then great. Then then you're off. Then you're off to a very, very good start. People forget that Intel is still quite big. Like they still have 55% of the server market, according to them, when
Mhm.
they were asked about ARM and all of that. Like we spoke about, there are the Xeon 6, the new one, right? It's the CPU host for the P300.
B300.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Intel is there. It just there is a difference between Intel being there and Intel being up up there.
There.
Yeah, up there with the competing
Yeah.
companies. So yeah, I mean, Libutani, like you said, he's not here to play. Like he's here to change change things, and he's changing things quite rapidly. Like
Hmm.
a year from now, we are going to see a much different Intel. Like he basically came in a couple of like just over a quarter ago, and the guy has already changed everything,
Yeah.
reset the whole thing. Um, he seems like a control freak, and I think that's what's needed here. Like he basically said every new thing has to come through me,
Yeah.
when it comes to
He needs
so
to review some of the new designs if they're
yeah.
major.
Yeah, so I think it's good. I think it's good. Again, I said at the start of the year, I think 2025 is an extremely crucial year for Intel, and I guess it has become even more crucial right now. Stock is down to $20 or so, back to prices not seen since a couple of weeks ago, I guess. But yeah, with Intel, I guess the better play is the long-term options play, instead of going with shares, I think.
Um, and here we got some live coverage from Matthew. CNBC Live, China delegates are literally pulling up in Motorcade in Stockholm, Sweden to discuss deals with Donald. So, and is this, do you think the market holds up a lot of these gains, Neil? Because can you pull up pre-market? What are we seeing in pre-market right now? Um,
I will pull it up. I think it's green, but I'll pull up, yeah,
Yeah,
everything
I mean,
Europe in it.
semiconductor stocks are definitely liking it. I'm looking at AMD, AMD up 2% right now, Nvidia up about 0.6%. Um, what else do we have?
So Europe is actually, funny enough, Europe is mixed. Asia
Mm,
mixed as well. Pre-market in the US, we are still green. We were greener before. So a small gain here. Europe balks at unbalanced US trade deal. Well, I guess that's what happens when you don't do anything for over a decade. But yeah, this is the current
uh,
state. So the market is not going to explode or anything like that. Um, Nebius is going to announce earnings August 7th. Huh.
that seems
Okay.
pretty early, right?
Yeah, that is early because the last time they reported, yeah, okay, August 7th. Last time they reported May 20, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, May 20th.
Okay. August 7th, we add that to the list of 10,000 companies that will report on the same day. Great.
Oh,
Great.
wow. That's next. That's crazy. Yeah, doing pretty early. Wonder if that's exciting.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be exciting. It's probably going to be exciting. Um, did I sell open? Only sold my initial position. I mean, after a 3x, why not? Right? Why not? Let's see. I had here a couple of, yeah, we have this. Where is it? This came out, and I've seen already a couple of comments about AMD. So this is something that we spoke about 2 weeks ago. I think July 10th,
Uh-huh.
the original note came out. It's a upgrade, hold to buy rating, and a $200 price target from HSBC. So AMD has reportedly raised the price of its MI350 AI chip by $10,000 to $25,000. HSBC evaluates that the MI350 can now compete with NVIDIA's Blackwell B200 in the market, and AMD's AI chip sales next year will be significantly higher than the prior estimate 9.6 at $15.1 billion. Now, my problem here is one,
What's your first
it's
problem, Neil?
it's 2 weeks old. Okay, you can go back 2 weeks in our live stream. We talked about this. Second of all, when
All
it
right. Second
says
of all,
here sales next year, I've seen some people say 2025, but because if it's 2026, then why were the estimates at 9.6 for 2026? That's quite low, right? I think 9.6 should be for 2025, not 2026. And if it's for 2025, then 15.1 billion in 2025 is quite a big number. It's
yeah,
like a
that's a lot.
3x. It's
I,
a
I, I
3x from here.
I don't think it would be it would be insane if we do get 15 billion this year. I think that would be wild. Um, but I do think these estimates, well, it depends. I think the overall estimates were a lot lower for this year for AMD's chips. I think it was closer. Originally, it was like in the 10 billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Then after some of the weakness, it kind of pulled down to like maybe closer to 8 billion, 7 billion.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I wonder. The MI 350. I mean, I think there's strength to it, but a 15 billion this year on it, that would be if it was, I would be extremely happy. But I'm not. I'm not holding my breath on 15 billion this year.
I mean, the hope is that we do get guidance for the year next week from
Mhm.
from AMD. I mean, it would make sense if it is going to be 15 billion. Why wouldn't you like pump your chest during that earnings call and say we expect AI revenue to come in at above, let's say, above
But I
13
think Lisa Su
billion.
just doesn't like to pump. Like she's not that type of
Yeah, but
player, right?
now that she knows that she can compete, I mean, why not, right?
But
Just
even if she does, she's still. I don't know. I mean, I think it's crucial because it's not just a random. Um, it's not like some small business. It's a business that is growing at a massive revenue rates. So I would love for her to give us some actual numbers, or even just a somewhat of a guidance. All right, instead of tens
yep.
of billions, like give me in the teens. At least tell me high teens, mid low 20s. Like at least I would appreciate something around that.
Thank you. So now you're getting to my feeling that I had a couple of months ago when I was like high double digits. Like high double
I
digit
mean,
that
yeah,
doesn't tell me anything.
I mean, I feel like I've had that feeling. It's just I don't know.
High double
I don't know.
digits. It's like and no analyst was like, okay, cool, high double digits, but is it like uh 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
60s? Like what which high double digit are we talking about here? But anyways, if it's if it's for this year, it's incredible because that's a 3x increase in a year, which would make sense for AMD to be going higher and higher because this is Nvidia like growth. If it's for 2026, then I'll be like, this 9.6 number was just very, very low. Because in
Mhm.
2026, you should calculate MI 400, and I assume that MI 400s are going for more than 25K, since
Well,
that's going to
for
be their
2026, do you
first.
really calculate the MI 400? I mean, it comes out in usually in the MI 350 came out a lot earlier than expected.
Yes,
The MI
but
400 would most likely be October, November, and just that ramp up process. I mean, we see it from Intel, right? Just like the first quarter or two, you're barely selling any chips. It's just that ramp production. So, how much more can you really um, integrate it unless into AMD either post if AMD pulls the MI 350 again, where it pulls out earlier than expected? I think that would be extremely bullish.
yeah, I mean, MI 400 for 26 is it's fiscal 26. I mean, you could probably calculate at least one quarter of it. I think that's
Mm,
fair to say. Like at
mm,
least a Q4,
mm.
hopefully a Q3. I don't know, depending on AMD. But yeah, no, this is going to be interesting. Hopefully we do get more answers from
Yeah.
Lisa next week, more than just the tens of billions of dollars and high double digits.
Joseph, I think this is exactly what happens a lot. They just throw around these numbers like it's fun. And then some analysts throw a number, another analyst catches it, and then they just work with that number that was thrown out of nowhere. Um,
Yeah, did you see the I can't remember if it's Piper Sandler or another analyst that suddenly initiated coverage of Palantir last week at a price target $170. Like we've been following Palantir for many years now, and like now you decide
yeah.
to
No,
actually cover the company at $300 trillion in market cap. and 1,000 times sales. You're like, yeah, now is the time. Now is the time to actually
Mhm.
cover it. That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Um, what do you got, Neil?
We've got some American Eagle stuff. I don't know if you've been following the trend.
American Eagle? No, definitely not.
American Eagle is the next big thing.
Is it?
Yeah, because Sydney Sweeney has
Oh yeah,
has
yeah. And
appeared
then
in their ad.
okay, yeah, yeah, I saw that. And then everybody was making fun that
Everyone
all
should
these
be
other
using.
companies. Yeah, there was like even
Uh,
the Intel one. That was funny.
yeah, I put it in my video. um,
Um,
but yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah. So here, someone actually wrote this about the trade deal. The $700 billion pledge on U.S. Energy is based on realistic estimations of what the EU needs between now and 2027 to completely replace Russian fuels. And it goes on to say here the European Commission clarifies that the $600 billion investment pledge under the EU US trade deal is simply an intention, not a guarantee. It's not something the EU as a public authority can guarantee. It's something based on the intention of private companies. I think that's going to be for every other trade deal as well. Like
mhm.
it's going to be impossible to say, oh no, we are like even SoftBank. Let's be honest, even
Yeah, the
SoftBank,
Stargate project, the
the
$500 billion there. It's not real
that and
numbers. It's yeah.
I mean, that one, the Stargate, and even the other ones, like when he said, "Oh, 100 billion at first, and then oh, I came back and I come here with $200 billion of investment." Like, is it it's the intention or it's the commitment? There are two different things. Two different things. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. We have here some boots on the ground from Gerald. Took my daughter
Gerald, thank you.
school clothes shopping, and American Eagle was packed. Voila.
Mm.
There you have it, folks. It is working. Um, we have here a UBS analyst maintains buy rating on AMD, raises price target to $210 from $150, an increase of 40% from 1 minute ago. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get. It's funny that they are all waking up right now when AMD is at, what is it
And
at?
that's what's scary, Neil. I mean, to
One
me,
second.
it's reminding me again of what happened last year. Um, where last year all these analysts started to increase the price dramatically. We got AMD until 200 due to this kind of crazy potential for the AI market, and that didn't happen throughout that year. And then AMD took a massive dive. Um, I think kind of something similar is happening here. On the bright side, the MI350 is out, and the MI350 does seem to be competitive. And we saw kind of all those companies come out and talk that they were using the AMD Instinct. But I wonder if the hype is too much for the short term of things, right? I am still a very firm believer that AMD is going to be a multi-bagger, even where we're at right now. Very, very strong believer that this is still a multi-bagger. But in the short term, I wonder, is the market expecting too much from the MI350, and we're gonna get to this quarter and it doesn't prove that the MI350. I mean, you can only sell so many chips in one quarter, right? And
Mhm.
especially if you're ramping up, I and I think that's why analysts are really, really hopeful that Lisa Su kind of gives that long-term guidance on just AI chips, because then they can really solidify these price targets. But if they don't, it's going to be maybe hell for some of these price targets. They're going to be Lisa Su and management couldn't provide guidance. So for that reason, we're going to drop down um, price targets again due to Nvidia's dominance in this space. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean if they don't want to give us a specific number, then I guess saying we're expecting to more than double last year's number.
Mhm.
Voilà. So we know it's
Yeah.
more than 10 billion,
Mhm.
and I think that should be fine. And no, it's interesting because I have a video for today that's planned, and it's about the four stocks I wouldn't touch before going into the earnings report. Still good companies, but I do feel like we've had such a big recovery and bull run in the last couple of weeks and months that a lot of quality companies are just priced to perfection. I mean, even a Meta, for example, someone asked here, um, do you think Meta will overreact? The market will overreact to Meta's earnings plus guidance, and share price could drop to 650, 680. Could very well happen, right? If they also raise guidance, maybe we'll talk a little bit about Meta and Microsoft and look at what the market is expecting the company to report. But first of all, I invite a correction in Meta, a crash
Oh,
in Meta stock.
open the door.
What, you want
Let
to
that
invest in
happen.
OpenDoor? You want to invest in OpenDoor? Um, but yeah, there are plenty of companies. There was a question about the Trade-S. The Trade-S is another one. It's a quality company
Man,
that did.
now I want to freaking guess what these 4 companies are in the ah.
The Trade-S is one of them.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the Trade-S it's a quality company, did crash 55%. The reason is, one, it was super expensive, and two, they missed guidance for the first time in 8 years. And then we saw the stock recover from the low 40s to closer in like now in the 80s or something like that. But again, how much of it is priced in?
I'm gonna get I don't know. I'm gonna guess if you want some engagement in your comments, Palantir might do one of the 2. One of
Of
the
course.
4.
Of course.
Okay.
No,
All right.
but
The other 2.
because it makes sense. Like, let's be
Yeah.
honest. Like,
Yeah.
we like the company, we like it all, but let's be honest, right? $350 billion company, not even generating $4 billion. I mean, with all
I
due respect,
if you want me to never talk to you again, I think NVIDIA might be one of them.
no, no,
No, all right. See, he wants me
no,
to
no.
talk to him. See, only if he didn't want me to talk to him, he
I'm
would
not
put
that crazy.
NVIDIA. Um,
No, it's pretty obvious. No,
well,
one isn't obvious, but the other one is pretty obvious. I mean, we talked about that company
uh,
uh, before.
let's see. Uh, well, we'll keep the other 2 surprised, Neil. All right. That it's a
Okay.
I
I
get
still
to.
need my
But
CTR
Mark,
to be to be
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. So Mark, hello from Thailand. Hello, Mark. Appreciate you joining us. Um, I do agree with this with Matthew. Analysts have been very off on the AI market since 2023, and a few know what they're talking about. Stacy's definitely one. I he goes and asks the hard questions, in my opinion, during the earnings call. I think most management hates Stacy because he definitely asks kind of the hard questions. Beth also, I can see that. But I think, Matthew, one of the biggest things is this is a market that's evolving in front of everybody's eyes. So it's like, I want to say this is one of the few times when you can kind of get almost the same amount of information as any analyst. And if you just put in the extra work, I think you can definitely be ahead of most of them. I mean, I personally, I don't know if I'm just my confidence. I believe in some of these AI companies, I know a lot more than some of these high paid analysts in this, just because I'm reading every single day. I'm reading everything happening with the technology here. But it's one of those first few times where just us retail investors, or whatever you call us, have the opportunity to be ahead.
No, I mean, I agree. It's probably also because it came in super, super fast, and all of these analysts are trying to stay relevant still. So some of them are just putting out price targets because just to stay relevant. Because if you're not putting out price targets, then your client might be saying, "Oh, what's going on here? Why aren't we covering this? Like, this stock went up. Why aren't we covering this?" And then you have the analysts that do know what they're talking about, and those analysts you rarely hear about them. Like, they'll come out once in a while
Mhm.
with a note, like a full-on note, and then just disappear again. The ones that you see on TV every single day and on X are usually the ones that are cheerleaders. Like they follow the
Mhm.
price. Not going to mention names, but most of you know who I'm talking about.
Shots fired.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um,
Now Nebius will report August 7th. August
yeah.
7th. Um, let's see. Before we jump into the earnings previews, real quick, let's. Do you own any cybersecurity company? I'm sure CrowdStrike,
The
or you
only
don't own
one,
it.
yeah, CrowdStrike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I own, but it's one I haven't really added much in a while. It's been pretty dormant in forms of position adding for a few months.
Yeah. I mean, it's been going up and up and up quite a lot
Uh,
as well. So, what do we make of our YOLO bet? I mean, we have a very small position in Applied Material. We believe,
Flight Digital. You
yeah,
said
Applied,
material.
yeah, yeah. So, rookie.
Noob, get him out of here.
Yeah, we have a small position in Applied Digital,
Yeah.
purely because, I mean, the size of the company, we like it. The contract that they got from CoreWeave, we like it. And we think there is quite a lot of growth in the future. Very, very small bet. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, then it's going to be a nothing burger in the portfolio.
Myth. And then it's all thanks to Roberto too. Was it Roberto?
Yeah, it was Roberto. Roberto turned us into Vegas, into some gamblers here. Cheese asked about Iron. Would you buy it if the stock price were lower? I have a small position in Iron, also one of those YOLO bets. I like. There is the Bitcoin mining part of it where it's very, very profitable for them. Plus, there is now going to be that HPC part of the business
Mhm.
where I also do think that they could either get bought out or get a big contract from one of the big tech companies because of the energy that they could provide. So I like it, but again, it's not something that I'll make like a 5% position in the portfolio. No,
No, Neil.
not that crazy, but okay.
um, let's see.
Oh,
If you,
glad you're back,
oh,
Neil. I had to go to Jose's channel full of NVIDIA and
the
Palantir
video
spam in
tells
the
you
chat.
spam and shit.
Did you talk about
It's weird.
Palantir recently?
I don't think so. I was gonna say I barely, very, very rarely talk about Palantir. Only during their earnings, and I only look at what they say about AI. I pretty much skip everything else. It's just more to learn about the AI market. So I do have like maybe once a quarter earnings on AI from Palantir.
Yeah, no, Palantir's report is one of the quickest one, I think, because the earnings
Yeah,
call is like 30 minutes. Like
yeah,
there's just Dan Ives and Mariana, and that's about it,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
quite strange.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. Again, I don't follow the company too well. Like maybe some of the other YouTubers out there, but I do enjoy their CTO talking. I do believe he takes his time to. It might not be the right place to talk about it, but he definitely discusses the technical aspects of everything. And again, it might be cool for a Palantir for just AI investors, just listening to some of the ways certain things get integrated. It can click in your brain. Ah, I know this company is working on something like this. Maybe I should start looking in that company. So I like it for stuff like that.
Yeah, and apparently I'm not the only one making the Applied Material Digital mistake. All right,
Noob.
you wanna? Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? You wanna do a quick meta preview? Maybe what you're looking out for. Of course, all of it is available on the one and only fiscal.ai link in the description. You can use our link. You'll get 15% off. During the earnings season, it's very, very useful because I mean most of the metrics do go up the next 30 minutes after the report is out. Earnings call is done. You get the transcript, you can listen to it, or you have an AI overview. For Meta, analysts are expecting revenue to come in at $44.79 billion for the quarter. EPS down quarter over quarter. Okay, I mean that's the usual trend here. $5.86, with the next one being $5.95, and then free cash flow. That's going to be quite interesting. So free cash flow, $6.4 billion, and currently the current expectations. I mean, okay, the difference here has become quite big for free cash flow, because do you think they'll also say that they're going to increase capex?
I think so, Neil. I mean, especially with all those investments that they're making, I don't think they had some of these things planned out. Um, of kind of like some of that scale AI investment, those massive bonuses for the AI companies, and I think they're going to have more stuff like that as well, continuing to happen. So I think they're going to. I also think the chips manufacturing is improving a lot, is increasing dramatically. That's why Google spent a lot more money in capital expenditure this quarter, because a lot of the chips were ready a little bit earlier ahead of schedule. So I think they're going to increase capital expenditure.
Yeah, so that will impact free cash flow for sure, and hopefully it does come down. The stock does come down. It has been performing extremely well for me, and I think for everyone holding it. Um, Year to date, I think we're beating the market 19.4%. Tremendous turnaround story by Meta, and of course, every time I see company X is Meta in 2022, um, insta block, from me. Up next, we have here a Microsoft. So Microsoft, of course, reports same date, after hours. Thing with Microsoft is that the stock will only move in after the earnings call has started, because that's when they provide their guidance. So if the stock is down a little bit before the call starts, don't worry, it usually moves during the earnings call. So revenue coming in expected $73.8 billion. EPS expected to be at $3.38, and a free cash flow of around $21.48 billion. With Microsoft being one of the biggest out there and one that have started to invest before the rest, do you still expect them to raise, or do you expect them to say, you know what, we've done enough?
This one is the tricky one. I feel first we would need to hear that they're doing strong growth in their cloud Azure platform. I think Google going first, it kind of showed two things: that CapEx growth is great if you're beating expectations on cloud revenue. Right. I think cloud revenue growth was expected to be around 27, 28% for Google, and they gave us 32%. And they also mentioned they're going to increase CapEx because they can grow even further. If we hear the same commentary from Microsoft, I think, yes. If we see a slowdown in CapEx, Neil, or if we just see that cloud growth not happen as quickly, I think the market is going to say, Microsoft, is Google taking market share from you? And if it is, that could be seen as I do believe it could be a reason for the stock price to drop. Now, one thing, Neil, I don't know if you read the new OpenAI expansion with Oracle, with that 4.5 that came out, I think maybe a little bit over a week ago. That was in that press release, the first time I've actually seen Microsoft trying to seem like they're somewhat integrated into Stargate. So I don't know if Microsoft is turning that growth switch back on, and if that was an early indication. But if it is, that's actually, in my opinion, extremely bullish, because normally this Stargate project was kind of away from Microsoft. And this is one of the first few times of actually, it seems like it's somehow at least starting to become part of that Stargate build outs. And that could be seen as a reason for them to increase CapEx.
Okay, because currently the expectations are for capex to increase
Yeah.
not that fast, although
Because
there is
just
here a
quickly,
big
Neil, you
difference.
can go, yeah, go to Google really quick. I mean, it's crazy how much it jumped this quarter.
Don't even know why I wrote alphabet.
No.
Quarterly.
See, look, I think that was wild. It's a
Like,
huge that slope. That slope was insane for that quarter. And it's 22. It's now spending, how much was it before? 17. So last quarter was spending around the same amount of Microsoft. I think Microsoft is also about 17 per quarter right now. And it was like, psych, we're gonna outspend you even more. Um,
Yeah, I mean, Google. Oh, thank God we talk about Google because I was feeling a bit bad not talking about not talking about it. But look at this. I mean, slowly but surely, we are making our way back to $200. I was actually surprised it didn't go up already to 200 last week, especially after that report. Um, Especially since the market was already in a good mood, right? Because Tesla had horrific earnings and stock just went up afterwards. I was like, okay, this is quite disrespectful to a company that generates more free cash flow than 100 companies can generate revenue. But yeah, that was interesting because like Tesla, if you look at it, yeah, 320 right now pre-market. So it's like nothing happens. It's like nothing happens. Not not bad at all. Not bad at all. I do want to touch on this real quick before we go into PayPal and SoFi, because they report tomorrow. This is a very good question. Like I wonder, like who is pushing that buy button at $160 right now for Palantir? I like this makes no sense to me. Like
yeah,
like he said, you had 3 years to buy either at under 10, under 20, under 30. You had time to buy. Like we like it. I don't own other than my one share anymore. But like I do wonder who's the person that says,
no,
Palantir at 300 at $160, $375 billion market cap. Forget about the trading PE, but even the forward ones, like 257, 90 times EV to sales, 200 times price to free cash flow. Yes, all of this is anticipating big, like huge growth.
yeah.
But okay,
I mean,
like
I feel, Neil, it's very similar to how kind of you were discussing how analysts, like, when things get really good, they start to talk about all these great price targets for all these companies. I feel like some investors, and this is definitely an issue. I felt like I had heavily in 2020, where I felt like I needed to own every single company benefiting in the wave. I'm actually pretty happy in this year during this AI era,
mhm.
where I don't feel like I'm picking every AI stock, right? I feel like maybe in 2020, I was trying to pick every e-commerce, every fintech, every metaverse, which was pretty much every semiconductor stock to benefit from there. And I don't know if that was the learning experience for me, where it's like, I don't need a focus. I don't need to have all these companies. I just need to focus on the true players that I own, that I believe in, and just build a bigger position on them, um, if opportunity arises and whenever opportunity arises. So, um, I think maybe sometimes retails, we feel like we need to own every single
Yeah.
company, and that creates kind of this momentum.
Yeah, no, I agree. Although I don't think retail is buying at 160. Like
Yeah,
Mel, I don't think Amit has
yeah,
touched Palantir in a while actually.
yeah.
Um,
And yeah, you're right. Not just retail, right? I mean, just like we saw, like those price targets, like even just these big firms, they need to show to their employees, look, we own this company, right? This is the most talked about AI company in the world, or blah blah blah. We need to own it just to make maybe our clients happy or something. I don't.
yeah, like to show, oh look, we have exposure to Palantir. I'm like, okay, great, you have exposure at 160.
Eh,
Should have
uh,
exposure at 16.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I know this thing
Um,
is wild. And don't
eh,
forget,
I was like smashing the buy. I don't know when was the last time I bought Palantir. I think way before 20s, which wasn't even that long ago. But I definitely haven't touched the stock ever after passing the 20s or 30s.
yeah, I mean I from the
I think I smashed the other button instead.
the take profits one.
The take
Uh,
profit one.
yeah, no, because even the big bulls that I talk about that have been in Palantir for many years, like they haven't bought a share in a long time, which makes sense. Like it makes sense. You can be bullish on the company in its future and be reasonable and say that this right here just is expensive. So I mean, congrats to them, but you can, just like with Tesla a couple of years ago, you reach the top and then you just plateau for a while. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this one.
Mhm.
Tomorrow we have the PainPal reporting. PainPal has been painful, although I am still making money on it. So that's still something positive, I would say. That's still something positive, I
Yeah,
would
I
say.
guess.
So the market is expecting PayPal to report revenue of just over $8 billion, EPS of around $1.29, and free cash flow of $1.769 billion. Now, to me, for PayPal tomorrow, which I still think it's one of the most undervalued names out there,
Mm.
it's I don't expect revenue growth to be huge this quarter. I think it's still a quarter where revenue growth is going to be very, very slow. But I do expect some positive commentary on accelerated growth in the earnings call
Mm.
from Braintree, and that should push the overall growth profile of the
Mm.
business. Because right now we are in the profitable growth phase that should go into the durable growth in the future. I do still expect them to buy back all of the free cash flow in shares. So the $1.7 billion eventually will be used to buy back shares. I think we're going to see again last quarter, for those that don't believe that people use PayPal. Well, last quarter, if we look here at the key performance indicators, we look at active accounts. Well, last quarter there were more people using PayPal than ever before. So clearly they are doing something good. Clearly they are growing, and it's priced as if it is not growing anymore. Of course, if you want this thing to go up and get a higher multiple, you will have to show growth. But in the meantime, they can just buy back um, a lot of shares. I mean, when you generate $6-7 billion in free cash flow and you buy back $6-7 billion in shares, and your market cap is $7.75 billion, you can retire around 8% or so, depending, let's say, on the fluctuations. Let's call it 8% of your float each and every year. That's not bad. Like eventually you will get that that expansion that you want, just purely because of the buybacks. But yeah, for PayPal, we do have a lot of tailwinds. There have been a lot of announcements from PayPal, whether it's agentic AI integrations with Perplexity, commerce, more recently, PayPal World, where they're basically going to work with solutions in Latin America, in India, and then PayPal and Venmo as well, finally. And that gives them exposure to around 2 billion users. So, I mean, things are going in the right direction. For those that who have the patience, I think this can be in my view, this is a multi-bagger in the future, because the way to reach $300 is, of course, way easier, less shares on the public market, so less of a struggle to go back up. But execution, of course, is key.
Neil, I have a really serious question here on
Yes.
PayPal. How excited were you when Google earnings kept saying PayPal over and over again?
Well, I only saw it afterwards because I was still dying.
You're still dying. Got it. Yeah.
Because
Is that what brought you back to life? The Google and PayPal
it's like
discussion?
the Undertaker coming out,
Yeah.
getting
uh,
revived. But yeah, when I saw, first of all, I read the Google report, and I was like, ha, I feel energized. And then I saw someone say, oh, PayPal was mentioned in Google's earnings call a couple of times as well. I was like, ha ha ha, my two guys are working together, and that's why they're not moving.
so Neil, from what I've heard from you right now, it seems like PayPal is like it's more of obviously right now. I think the AI market also creates a little bit of impatience to certain companies, like in the AI space, especially companies like Nvidia. You want to see what's the next thing, what's next, how are they innovating? But not every company is in that mode, and that's okay. That's not how all businesses work. For PayPal, there's not like a new product that you're expecting to see. It's more just continued growth of their overall products that can overall increase kind of the earnings per share as it continues to expand within there. It's there. Is there anything product related, Neil, that got you that's getting you excited here for PayPal? It's more just customer addition of logos to their platform.
Yeah, it's about monetization of the
Mhm.
PayPal ecosystem because they have that huge ecosystem like I showed, 436 million active accounts. You have merchants, you have the us basically. You have all of that data. You have Venmo, right? People keep forgetting that Venmo is owned by PayPal. Venmo is super popular in the United States. I think it's the number one um, peer-to-peer app out there. It's about monetization. When you monetize things, people will use it more and more, and that's one way for you to make more money. On top of that, you can add the advertising layer. With all the data that you have, you are in e-commerce, you are in commerce on and offline, you can of course monetize all of that. So it adds to revenue, it adds to free cash flow, adds to earnings per share. Then you have Braintree, which is something that you don't see, right? You don't see because that's the underlying layer. It's basically got like a Stripe or Adyen. Most of the people don't know who Stripe is or Adyen is, right? Because you don't care. Like you click, you pay, the payments are made, and that's about it. But for these companies, the trillions of dollars of payments that are being made, it's quite important. Like the take rate is important, the value that's added here is important. And this is something that has been under monetized by PayPal in the past. It's something that their strategy was to grow at all cost. Well, growing at all cost is, maybe let me pull up the other thing. Growing at all costs was great when interest rates were at zero and when there was a pandemic, and so everyone was basically um, spending online. But growing at all costs is great when you have this. Okay, when you have a super overvalued market and things go up, you are growing faster. Again, these are things that don't really happen every single year. Hopefully not, and hopefully never again, but okay. But growing at all costs is what has led you to this. 3 years of nothing, basically. Uh, Almost close to 3 years of nothing, right? It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Profitable growth, profitable growth and durable growth is what I believe will bring this stock back to $300 5 years from now, which gives me from an additional position almost a 5x. I'll be very, very happy with that. Plus, I do expect PayPal to be a completely different company in the future, right? When we have AI agents that can shop, that can make those payments, thanks to PayPal uh, being the system in the background. You'll have the advertising layer, which should add billions of dollars extra in the future for PayPal. So it's not about the shiny new things that PayPal does. No, it's about the things that they do best. They can do better, but now they can monetize it. Not even going to talk about the stablecoin and how that can help the business and margins and all of that, because that's also in the future can be quite good. Um, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, keep on talking when you're muted. Let me unmute you. Let me unmute you.
Thank you, thank you. I was gonna say I'm so excited for PayPal and SoFi earnings tomorrow.
Yeah, because SoFi is the next one. Quick touching on this. Most of the people I work with, demand Venmo, are dodging PayPal fees. Yeah, I mean, of course you can if it's like small amounts and all of that, and you're not. And actually, I guess even vendors, yeah, they'll take Venmo, but the PayPal fees are, I mean, mostly because it's people like sent from Europe to United States or from another country, and you just want to be safe. So yeah, you have to pay that fee as for a protection, basically.
Mhm.
Goods and services, friends and family, of course, is free. But would you trust an anonymous person on the internet? Probably not. So you're willing to pay that added fee.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
makes sense. I wouldn't mind paying. Like if I buy something from a Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and I say we do PayPal, I always say we do goods and services. I don't mind paying the extra fee because imagine if he screws
Uh,
you over, you just did
uh,
friends and family, and you're screwed.
Neil,
Um,
Now, real question: if I was to sell you something, would it be service and friends, service and goods, or would it be friends?
But it's friends and family because I can destroy you here on YouTube. Your career is done.
It's done. Or I don't know.
No, there is no or. Um, Zero aura, as the kids say these days. Um, Quickly touching on this question, Tesla bullish on the long term. Yeah, I think we're still bullish. I'm just less exposed to the Elon tweets volatility than I was before, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I also do find it funny that, off topic here, but on X, it's very funny that only the Tesla bulls talk about Uber, and I've never seen an Uber bull talk about Tesla. I don't know. Found this peculiar, to say the least.
Yeah, that is actually true, right? I mean, I don't know. It's one is worried about the other, and the other one's like, yeah, we'll keep chugging along our own way.
Yeah, I mean, are you that insecure about your what you're holding that you have to like? It's always about, oh, Uber is going to zero. I'm like, is that your investment thesis? Uber
Yeah.
going to zero, so Tesla is going to work out. That just doesn't make
And
any sense.
you usually see that you usually see that from the smaller company too. It's so weird that you're seeing it from the company is it $1 trillion, almost $1 trillion,
Tesla is a
talking about
trillion. Yeah,
is it? It is. Talking and Uber's what, sub 200, sub 300?
I think Uber is now maybe 200.
Yeah, about
No,
190. So that
190.
it's so weird, right? You normally would see it the other way around.
Yeah, I don't know. It just to me, every time I see these things, I'm like, okay, let's get to work. um, you can't be not bullish on PayPal as long as you agree with the overall business model. You can't not.
Yeah.
You can't be not bullish. I don't know. The business model makes sense to me. I am bullish on PayPal. I like the management, but if it was still the old management, I would probably not. I would probably not have PayPal in my portfolio, anyways. Right now, okay. Fintech company number 2, SoFi. They report tomorrow, also before the market opens. Company worth $23.4 billion. Don't focus on the trailing PE right now. That's at 50 because there was no E that long ago. The E is expected to grow quite fast, and for some reason the analysts don't believe the growth story here. So that's what we have right now. Revenue of $804 million for the quarter. EPS of 6 cents. Which is, yeah, I think I said 7, but okay. And then EBIT here, there's no need to look at free cash flow with this one. EBIT of $84 million. I actually made a prediction. I always do a prediction video for SoFi. So this is basically what I predict for SoFi. We're going to have a look at it tomorrow. So new members coming in at 838,000. Cost of acquisition of $285, which is a bit less than last quarter. A Galileo revenue of 105 million, 2 million more than last quarter, because they did say that they expect it to grow more, but not by much. It's still 10% year-over-year growth. Adjusted revenue of $840 million, so beating analyst expectations and beating SoFi's expectations as well. Adjusted EBITDA of 217 million and EPS of 7 cents. I think it's very beatable, these numbers. The only one where I'm like, maybe yes, maybe no, is the members one. Because SoFi said that for the year, they expect to grow, to add at least 2.8 million members. In Q1, they already added 800,000, which leaves 2 million for 3 quarters, which isn't even 700,000 per quarter, which to me seems like it's sandbagging here. So 838,000 is the number that I got for this quarter, and the rest I think is realistic, beatable, and if not, if they meet it, I'll be happy. I'll be happy here as well. Stock Goat says, yeah, I mean, he's been saying this for the last 5 years as well. No, short squeeze every single day. So eventually he'll be right. Eventually he'll be right.
Uh-huh.
So,
You keep saying something all the time. You're a broken clock is right 2 times a day.
exactly. Vladimir saying, in other words, it's a good idea to start a position now in PayPal. What he's saying, and he's right. I mean, I have a position in PayPal, and it's not personal financial advice, but contrary to the video that comes out today, PayPal was one of the stocks where I said buying before the earnings could make a lot of sense. Could make a lot of sense. Because again, eventually the stock will move. Eventually the stock will move. Just like with SoFi, we spend a lot of time, $6, $7, $8, $10, and then poof, we go up.
Is this old news? Is this new news?
PayPal introduces pay with crypto, allowing merchants to take 100 plus digital assets as payment from popular wallets like MetaMask and Coinbase. I mean, I've seen the MetaMask, I mean, the Coinbase partnership, but let's see if this is new news or if this seems like it's new news. Yeah, it's new news.
New news? All right. SSB coming in clutch. And no, I did not manage to build a position in Nebius because Neil talks about it all the time. He ruined it for me. Hopefully I get something during earnings.
So apparently this PayPal news, pay with crypto decreases deal cost by up to 90%. Huh. I guess it's the transaction fees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it depends on the crypto. Or they just leverage their stable coins. Mm-hmm. Anyways, more transactions, the better for the PayPal. For the PayPal.
Or the PayPal.
For the PayPal, yeah. It's like Andrew pushing open to $82. I don't think it's Andrew. I think it's Eric on X. And again, this 82. Let me do some work here for you all. Although I think my video on OpenDoor has been quite good. That explains the whole thing. OpenDoor is now up 6.7%, back to $2.71. The $82 price target is based on made-up estimates. Okay, if we look at the fiscal 27 revenue estimates for Wall Street currently, and I think it has even come down since the last time I made my video, it's now at $6.7 billion. $6.7 billion. Eric, which made that post that went viral for the $82, is basing that on $12 billion. He says he took that from Bloomberg. I'm here on fiscal.ai. I mean, even if this is a mistake, there is a big difference between 6.7 and $12 billion in revenue. Oh. So, yeah. Slash
but then,
those
I mean,
estimates.
Even 6.7 billion, you're doubling revenue. So, I mean, is she, even with those numbers, she's saying open $41? That's still crazy.
I mean, just purely on, because then he talks about, and I also covered this in the video when I compare it to Zillow, but then again, Zillow has higher margins. So, okay, it does deserve to get a higher multiple. But currently, if you look at EV to sales, 0.8 times, let's say you put it at 3x or something like that, you will get quite a nice return. Of course, I made that video when it was at $1. So you already got your 2.7x. I think that's good in like a 10x. A 10x should be feasible if they don't do a reverse split, if rates do come down, etc., etc. But yeah, $82. I mean, my problem when you have a thesis, when you have like those, oh, this is the next 100x or whatever, the multi-bagger. If the story behind your calculations makes sense, I'm all for it. Like if the numbers, the data back it up, no problem. But if like the first number that I'm seeing is already BS, then okay, forget about it. Like 12 billion, no, I'm seeing 6.7. It's quite a big difference. Quite a big difference. But still, I think plenty of people made a lot of money on OpenDoor in like a week. So I mean, this is literally paying for my Greece vacation um, next week. Uh, Nvidia. Oh, we have a comment from X. Oof. Normally I
What?
watch it
That's
from
not
YouTube, but
what? That is wild.
a rare Pokemon has appeared. Um, so, Nvidia. Do you have any Nvidia news?
I don't think so, Neil. I was surprised. I'm like, what does Neil have that I don't know? Um,
I don't know. This
I
thing
mean,
has gone up recently quite a lot.
yeah, I mean, just the excitement, right? You're seeing kind of all these capital expenditure growth from Google. You're seeing all these massive investments from OpenAI, from XAI, and just the overall sentiment of the China news. And it's weird. Maybe all this happened about a week ago, but it feels like forever ago. I think it's just the overall sentiment with the AI market right now. And then you have kind of that US White House portion where you're trying to continue to reduce the red tape to build AI data centers and AI infrastructure, which has obviously been very bullish for the semiconductor industry. But I think one of the biggest and most monetary news was the H20 being able to be sent back to China. That's straight money that we can start to see, maybe not this quarter, but at least next quarter for sure. And we can get some great guidance on that. So I think that's been the biggest thing. Um, I mean, the stock was where was in May was in the 100s, right? I think.
I mean, it's
Um,
crazy how a stock like this is up 60% over the last 3
yeah,
months.
yeah. So, I
Um,
mean,
yeah, 100, low hundreds.
yeah. And throughout my channel, right, I'm very bullish on Nvidia, and I always talk about it being as a patient investor. And it's like, if you look just in the past 3 years, I think you're going to see multiple times when the market misunderstands something and creates buying opportunities. And that's what I kind of like. I think I did plenty of videos in April and early May where I talked about NVIDIA being extremely bullish in the 90s, in the 100s. Now is when I stop talking about kind of that. I'm still bullish in the long term for NVIDIA, but this is not a time I'm adding on to the stock. This is the time where I just sit back. If maybe I want small dollar cost average, very small, but this is where 3 months ago we were pretty heavy on it. And now it's the chill time. I think eventually the market is going to give us another opportunities. The semiconductor never fails at that, Neil. It never fails. Maybe when it happens, that's obviously you can't time it, but when it happens, that's the big opportunity. And that's how I feel right now with a lot of semiconductor companies. It's pretty much on the chill mode until we get those opportunities where we can go heavy again.
Yeah, because I mean, when we were going heavy in everything that
Hmm.
we liked, I mean, remember, this forward PE was in the 20s. Now it's
Hmm.
35.5.
Hmm.
Trading PE 56 was much lower than
Yeah.
that. So even companies like this with elite margins still growing very fast, or expected to grow very fast, have reached a level where we're like, you know what, we're good with our allocation, right? We have allocated
Yeah.
correctly. Whatever happens. If we go down, great. I mean, great. If it's for bad reasons, then then maybe not great. But if it's like a good report, like this is the best combo in the earnings season. Good report, good comment, stock goes down. I'm like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
no problemo here. Um,
Uh, what is one stock that you buy in the semiconductor today? I
hmm.
don't, in pure AI semiconductor, I don't have one where MJ, if you're asking like a big position right now, I don't think I have one. If I was to do a big position right now, I think, Neil, I would do a semiconductor ETF just because I do believe the whole market as a trend continues to grow. A big position right now, I don't know. If you tell me small dollar cost averaging, where it's just to build a position over time, NVIDIA, um, AMD, even though AMD has, I believe it will give us a correction. I'm talking about very, very small dollar cost averaging. All right. There's none of those, neither NVIDIA or AMD, or any other play in the AI space. I would put a big bulk right now. Within the semiconductor, I think ASML might be one of the best values right now in forms of value and growth opportunity. I think ASML would be that, but I think ASML would be a market beater at these levels. Will it be a market destroyer like maybe some of these other AI companies? I don't think so, but it definitely would be a market beater. I think at these levels.
Yeah, I guess it's also probably good that Tesla is giving Samsung a
Hmm.
$16.5 billion check
Hmm.
for the US,
Yeah.
because I do feel that some of that money will
Um,
flow to ASML. Um,
on semi SSP,
on
yes, but I mean on semi is I think you this one's going to be a very volatile ride. The other one I was going to think is if you want the volatility, Micron also at what is it 110s? I don't know if it's pulled up back to the 120s, but last time
uh,
it was starting to encroach the 100s. Um,
111.
yeah, it's starting to get on heavy on my watch list again for me to do a video on it. Um, right. I mean, you're seeing all this negative pullback, even though we've seen a lot of bullish sentiments from actual management. The negative seems to be from just, again, those analysts maybe not completely understanding this space.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Alan here said, dried out from yesterday rain at Spa. This was a pathetic decision from F1. Barely, barely rained. 90-minute delay for nothing. Pathetic. Like,
Uh,
why do we have wet tires? What is this, a joke? Waste of my time. Waste of my time. What's a good ETF for ASML? I think, well,
SMH, I think
yeah,
that's one has a SM, that one has it. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
4.1%.
4%. And you have Plaque, you have like a lot of equipment players. I mean, look,
Yeah.
Applied Material and Research Plaque, you have about 16, 16, maybe 17% just right off the bat on um, top equipment players. So there, and then you have kind of your cadence. I do think, and that's kind of what I was trying to go with. What Ku just mentioned by just SMH term in terms of long term. Yeah. So usually, Neil, when I don't have a true single play, I would want to go. SMH is my favorite because if you do look at it, it's very heavily um, concentrated on NVIDIA. So for every dollar, 22 cents go to an NVIDIA position, which I like. But then you kind of get your exposure on TSMC, on AMD, on Applied Materials, and all of those other players. So um, this is where I would be buying right now. Individual, like I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of ASML as a multi bagger. So that's one of the reasons it's not in my portfolio, but it can
You know
definitely
you want
beat the
Intel.
market.
You know you want Intel.
I I'm getting there, Neil. I am getting there. The second thing is Marvell. Someone mentioned Marvell. Marvell is also another one, but Marvell is again, it's one of those risky plays. Like if that's the only semiconductor company you're gonna own, you're gonna be there for a fun time.
Or not, depending depending on the timeline. But yeah, did you see that SMCI has made its way back up quite nicely, actually? The
Yeah.
50 55, it's up 85% this year now.
When does this one
Not
report
bad.
earnings?
Good question. You know, this is also something I wanted to send fiscal.ai, if we can
Yeah,
get
I was
like
just thinking about that.
the earnings report somewhere here. That would be great. That would be great. But I don't know. I don't know when they report. Let's see. And the market opens in 4 minutos. Super micro. We'll see. Probably in. Did we have a preliminary? No, we don't. We didn't have a preliminary report. So last time they reported was March 31st. Huh. August 5th. August 5th is when Supermicro. When Supermicro reports. So also next week. Yeah, it was a horrible decision that made the race extremely boring. Like you could have started an hour
Yeah.
later, still have some rain, and then at least you have some excitement, some strategic decisions here. The fact that the mediums held on for so long just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Eddie J here. If you're going risky, I like air tech, but super risky. I agree, Eddie. I think we talked about it various times for various quarters in this channel. Um, in the low teens, now it's think is sitting into 20s, but it's very small market cap company. I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets acquired by maybe some other equipment player in the future.
Mm.
And here we have a question: who sits on top as far as semiconductor supply chain? I think at the moment, TSMC is definitely kind of like that top player. I mean, you can probably say the equipment players, but I think most of it depends on the supply lines that TSM has already been built out. So who sits on the top? I think that's going to be TSM. That's the one that pretty much moves. Like at the moment, TSM probably doesn't even need to buy more equipment for them to continue to dominate in this AI chip space. So that's why we'll put them. But in theory, if you really have the pyramid, you would put kind of the equipment players on top, or even maybe the actual materials to build those wafers and everything else. Maybe, but that just gets too detailed
Like the
on those
lenses and all of
materials.
that.
Yeah, like the materials needed for all that. That's you get too nitty gritty for that. So I think maybe equipment players. Then you have your manufacturing lines. Then you have your software like Cadence, like Synopsys. Then you have your fabless companies or your designers like NVIDIA and AMD. And then you have maybe kind of like your end products, whoever is making the PCs, the servers, like maybe your Dell, your Supermicro. And then maybe you can go a little bit lower than that.
Correct. We have time for just one extra thing here. So United Health reports also tomorrow before the market opens. I think it's all about the earnings call, how the CEO talks there. I think Centene CEO did a very good job last week. Basically picked the stock up during the earnings call. So I expect the same thing. I expect the same thing tomorrow to happen with United Health. All of that in the AM, where we are going to go live and cover as much as possible, but focus on the AMD, PayPal, and SoFi earnings report. We still have a couple of seconds left until the market opens.
Daniil just told us to YOLO on United Health calls. Is that what I heard?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it is cheap. It is cheap. It's not like Meta 2022, and it's not going to be compared to Palantir, because I've seen all of these stupid posts on X, like, oh, Palantir is worth $350 billion, generating $4 billion. United Health is worth only whatever, generating $400 billion. How does that make any sense? Well, why are we comparing here apples to Lego bricks? Like, what is this? Just doesn't make.
Hey, can you just refresh that heat map? I think that's what everybody wants. All right. Can you just refresh it?
I put the watch list on. It's much better. Real time moves. Real time moves. So,
So it's kids saving. I'm about to call my wife and tell her the same thing. Neil told us put the kids' savings on United Health.
I mean, that's quite a development from our feud last week to now giving you some financial advice.
Oh, that was wild.
Currently, again, it's the market. The heat map needs time to show us some big moves, but we can see this here on the side. On the watch list, we have a SoFi that's barely down. Novo Nordisk also down 0.7. Bitcoin is down a little bit. Iron is down 1.5. Someone was asking here about Cypher mining. A bit of the same, but I prefer Iron a bit more. Oscar down 0.5 because why not? Because we're live, that's why. Because Jose has to hear Oscar and then downgrade or stock down. Never Oscar, stock up.
Never.
And then who's up the king? AMD is up 2.4% or so. HIMS is now up 3%. Applied Digital is up 1.7%. Oclo is up. Marvell is up. Meta Pinduoduo, they're all up at the moment. AST Space Mobile, so all still doing quite well. But of course, give it like another 10 minutes or so, and we might be seeing maybe more green, more red. Roberto is in the house, joining us for the last couple
Yeah.
of minutes of the show. Roberto is our partner in our YOLO bet.
Astero Labs is up about 5%. Navitas is also up about 4.5%. We're seeing a lot of semiconductor equipment in Europe. Neil, excited. You have kind of companies like EE Semiconductor, Bessie up about 5%. You have your ASML up about 3%.
Bessie.
It seems like a lot of excitement on semiconductor equipment because I talked about them being in the top of the chain just a few minutes ago, and obviously the market reacted to that in a split second. But you have Lam Research onto all up a nice 2 to 3%. So it seems there is some excitement here for semiconductor industries.
It does seem like there is. Let's last couple of checks here. United Health holding on. What could we check real quick? What name? No, that's also up.
What is the one that shouldn't be named? Did you just look at that? I'm on a different screen.
It's up 0.4%, so
100%.
not that much. The age-old question: is stock X a buy before the earnings call? SoFi is now down 1% to $21. SoFi reports tomorrow. I mean, with SoFi, we've seen time and time again, triple beat, right? Beats across the board, guidance raised, and the stock is down. The best case scenario, to be honest. And so the answer is quite clear. If you want to own it for the long run, small position, and then you add accordingly. If it's options, then I guess you choose your fighters there, and we'll see how that works. But I have no intentions on selling anytime soon.
Does it worry you, Neil, that it's gone up a nice amount? I mean, I don't know SoFi, but one thing I hear about SoFi is this is a stock that drops after earnings, right? I think that's what I've known it for the past. But now that it's rallied a nice amount, is that creating any fear in the short term? Like you mentioned, long term, you're still extremely bullish on this, but in the short term, is that a risk right now?
No, because the stock should have never been that low. Like this is the same with a lot of other companies. Stock should have never been at $8, $9 back in April. So to me, I think it deserves to be at $21, and I think it only gets better from here business wise. And so I think it can justify the price that we're paying right now. So that's it. Qualcomm is going to be an interesting one because that's a very cheap name that just also did not participate in anything for the last year or so. But all of that is for Wednesday. Same with ARM, super expensive stock, very good company, but I just don't understand why why it's trading at such a high premium right now. Tom Nash, who is great, he recommends Palantir. I don't know if he still recommends it right now. I know he's talked about it before, but yeah. I honestly, I don't know who recommends Palantir at $160. Doesn't make any sense, but okay. That will be all for us today. We will be back tomorrow with an amazing show because we have a lot of companies reporting tomorrow. We have a special guest coming on, and so it's going to be very exciting. Very, very exciting. Jose, you have something to say before we go?
I'm the greatest. Thanks for joining me.
That's
is there anything
way.
I was supposed? Is there anything I was supposed to say? No, I don't know. Was there? No. I'm super excited for tomorrow's SoFi and PayPal earnings. Neil did not force me to read this script right here. This is all my pure excitement.
Wink twice if you're being held hostage. All right, that's all for us. Go watch my latest video. Go watch Jose's latest video.